get out of it. She had plenty to get away from. Her boyfriend, Ethan, for one thing, who was the real survival geek of the two of them. The casting agent said, "Don't worry about the conceit. How are you at building shelters? Have you ever used snares?" Of course she had, and he knew that. So she mumbled along, and she must have fit whatever slot they were looking to fill. Young woman with experience, not beautiful. To balance out Ashley, who was beautiful but inexperienced. They must have done that with the men, too. The Eagle Scout, the math teacher, the old grouch who had a heart of gold. Or with the right edits, the right music, they could make it seem like he did. The survivors might as well have introduced themselves by their archetypes. At the time the show found Mara, she was living in a camper with Ethan pretty deep in the woods. The camper wasn't roadworthy, but they'd built 2 walls and a roof around it, so it stayed dry even in the soggy Washington winter. They had lived there 3 years at that point, and the camper felt smaller each season. They were always in each other's way. They did laundry in a pond and smoked too much. It bothered Ethan that Mara had grown up off-grid, whereas he'd come to the lifestyle for the aesthetic, or at least that's what she said when they fought. But he had the dedication of a convert. He was always coming up with new ideas. Solar ovens, beehives, a greenhouse made of reclaimed windows from the dump. She wanted a dishwasher. 4 days a week, Ethan and Mara worked at a survival school run by a former blockchain developer named Bjorn. They taught classes sometimes, trapping and fire building and so on. But the school's biggest business was leaving clients in the woods overnight. There were always people willing to pay for the experience. A steady stream of tech bros, spiritual seekers, and corporate burnouts from Seattle, for whom camping itself would have felt too banal. If they paid good money, their night outside was recognized, celebrated. In the mornings, Mara gathered clients from their assigned sites and made them scrambled eggs over a campfire, assuring them that they had indeed conquered the wilderness, though a fair number spent the night shivering and never built or caught anything at all. Then she gave out braided leather bracelets in a fireside ceremony. She could tell people treasured them. Like, they'd wear their bracelets to the office on Monday and touch them throughout the day to remind themselves who they really were. Civilization's casting team came to the survival school, which was called Primal Instinct, to search for talent. They brought the instructors one by one into a hotel room, sat them on the edge of a bed, and asked for their life stories. Just the highlights: age, family, hobbies, trauma. They must have liked Mara's, because the next day they called her back to the hotel. The room was disheveled by then, and the bedspread less crisp. "So tell me," said the casting agent from behind a giant lens. He wore a blazer and sipped an energy drink through a straw. "What skills would you bring to this challenge?" He told her to answer in full sentences, as if she were not responding to a question at all, but simply thinking aloud. "I would bring many skills to the challenge," said Mara, feeling uncomfortable. "For instance, I'm good at foraging." She was good at a lot of things outdoors, but foraging was the first that came to mind. "That's good," he said. "That's a start. Can you say it with more conviction?" Mara sat up straighter, which was hard because the edge of the bed sloped down. "I'm very good at foraging." "Do you think you can last 6 weeks out there?" "Probably." "Probably." "Anything could happen. I could get struck by lightning, but I think my odds are good." "What would you say your odds are?" "Better than most." "Full sentences. And look, you do you, but if you could sound more confident." She was trying. "I will last 6 weeks in the challenge," Mara said. Then when he didn't respond, "I know for a fact that I can last 6 weeks out there, whatever happens. I've done it before and I'll do it again." That wasn't strictly accurate. Mara rarely slept outside the camper when she wasn't working. She didn't see the point, but the agent liked it. "Great," he said. "Perfect. Do you want to add anything about making nature your bitch?" "I'd rather not," she said. "Okay," he said, glancing at his notes. "That was promising, Mary. That'll do for now." She did not expect to hear from him again. But a few weeks later, the show's producer, Lenny, called and told her she'd made the cut.